And the Lord looked upon the attractive man with a full sack, and he saw he was good. A lot of the society and the people in it are wondering why these attractive men who seem to have a lot of things going for them are choosing voluntarily, not involuntarily, to opt out of being married. And many of these men, it's not that they don't want to get married, it's just that we live in a completely different day and age. And I'm going to have a different type of take than most people would, because this is not a manosphere type of content. However, I can see how it would be interpreted that way. So the way that I see marriage is essentially the coagulation and the dissolution process in alchemy, and the rejoining of those things. So in alchemy, marriage is letting go and burning away that which is impure so that the purities can rise back together. It's the turning of lead into gold, right? And symbolically, this comes down to going in oneself so much that you start to see that there is no differentiation between like in here and out here, because what's happening out here is a reflection of what's inside you. And so the more that you feel good, the more that you just enjoy your life, the more other people seem to enjoy their life, and the more other people seem to be enjoying what they're going through. And you know, you're feeding the symbolic narrative structure of whatever's happening for you in your life. And in that field, the symbolic narrative field, there is certain narrative structures that are occurring that are going to help you see certain things, or they're going to prohibit you from seeing life in a new type of way. So one thing that I think most men who are attractive and have full sacks, shout out to the full sack bros, they understand and understand that there's something more to life than relationships. This is not to say that relationships don't have a place, because life is about relationships, but there's also something deeper. It's the relationship that we have with ourselves. And this is a profound inner structure and profound inner understanding, or just inner standing, in which you recognize that the soul of existence is outside of you and inside of you. You are the vessel for the soul of existence to express itself as it wants to and as it needs to. Like, I don't really see my life as my life to some degree. It's not that it isn't my life, it's just that whose life really is there to have. I mean, yes, biologically and psychophysiologically, I'm a human being, but there's also something more to me, right? So there's this beautiful dance that occurs, and when you learn how to have the proper dance, then the relationships that you desire will come into fruition. Now, many of the good-looking men with a full sack, they've allowed themselves to lose their minds to the point in which maybe their mind is just no longer there, or it's the size of a pebble, and their sack is the size of a monument. And when you have this size of the monument when it comes to your full sack, you no longer are impressed by beauty in the way that it once was. But it does not to say that beauty isn't a virtue, because there's a reason why in the ancient civilizations beauty was considered a virtue. Beauty was a virtue because it's believed that in your past lives, you were someone who went through certain things to have beauty in your present form, in your current form of the soul of existence. I'm not saying I believe that. I'm not saying I don't believe it. I'm just saying that this is the information for what it is. Oh, baby. When the sun comes out, it's just chef's kiss, man. I love being outside in the sun. I don't know if there's much more that I really enjoy except for a day in the sun and sunbathing and just chilling and being and doing what I'm doing, right? Like there's just, I love it. But anyway, so the alchemical union is not only internal, but it can be external as well. Okay? So relationships are essentially like a dharma. So for those of you that are not familiar with the Hindu religion, dharma is essentially a personalized route to your coming to God through certain the noise stuff, man. Like, I found out that they're redoing the street over here. Perfectly fine street. I have no clue why they're redoing it, but they're redoing the street, so that's what all that noise and commotion is about, apparently. Whatever. We press forward with our full sacks, bro. So, anyway. Yeah, somebody said in a video recently, the man with a full sack never looks back. That's exactly what it is, man. But anyway, so your dharma and your relationships are part of your dharma. So like if you're in a relationship with someone, that's part of your dharma. And it's part of your coming to God, and you're part of their coming to God, and it's all part of it. Right? It's part of the reconstruction, you might say, of your own inner architecture. And this reconstruction of the inner architecture is going to be a poignant process for you in your recognition of the divinity, not only in yourself, but in other people. Specifically, the person that you're maybe in a relationship with. Now, think about all the marriages of this day and age. Now, 50% of them end in divorce, right? Why do you think that is? Do you think that they actually see marriage as like a dharma? Do you think that they really see marriage as a way to come to God and the soul of existence? Do you think that that's what's going on? No, it's not what's going on. For neither of them. The men are focused on people pleasing, because we've been taught to people please. I'm not judging these people. I'm just saying that's what's going on. And so the men are people pleasing, all to realize that this woman doesn't give a rat's behind about her at all, or about him at all. All she cares about is what she can get. Now, this is not the case for all women, because if you have the perception that all women are like this, well, guess what you're going to see? Because you're feeding the symbolic narrative field that narrative structure. Well, you're going to see all women as that way. But if you say, I trust that there are feminine women who are warm, inviting, feminine, and empathetic, who actually care about not just me, but men and their common people in general, well, then you start to see that a little bit more. You start to trust that a little bit more. But you're not naive. Okay, don't be naive about it. I'm not saying just trust all women or believe all women. That's not what I'm saying at all. You see, this is a very nuanced approach. And there's a lot of there's a lot of nuances in the nuance. And it seems to me that many men have, they're very bitter, right? And you can start to see the ones who have healed their animus, their anima, and the ones who have not healed their anima. And the ones who have done their shadow work and the ones who have not done their shadow work. The ones who are on the path to godlike mastery and the ones who are not on the path to godlike mastery. It's very, very simple to tell when this happens, because you're no longer, you're seeing the structure of reality in such a different and profound way that you have no choice but to be in love with the whole existence. This is what I'm talking about here. This is the dissolution into the alchemical marriage. So the alchemical marriage is more about seeing the unity in everything and experiencing the totality of life as it is. You see, suffering only happens when you resist what's actually happening. So let's say you are resisting the heartbreak of losing someone that you thought was close to you. And so instead of experiencing that heartbreak and feeling it for what it is and not judging yourself for the grief that you have, instead of doing this, you decide, okay, well, screw this. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna go sleep with a bunch of women, or I'm gonna go party, or I'm just gonna rot away. Like I'm just gonna rot and do nothing with my life. I'm gonna be unproductive and I'm not gonna do anything, and undisciplined and all this. Now look, I'm not saying that those things are wrong necessarily. I'm just saying that because we do have like a productivity epidemic, I would say, in our society, because it's like if you're not producing, if you're not consuming, and if you're not producing, and if you're not consuming, then there's something wrong with you. If you're being, it's like, ugh, they don't know what to do about it. But all of a sudden, if you are just part of the machine, it's fine, right? But you see, the problem with the attractive man, and it's not really a problem, it's just more like, how do I describe it? It's more like the man who knows what he's worth and has a backbone. He doesn't just let people siphon his energy. He's freely giving, he's productive and he's generous, but he's not going to be attached to certain outcomes. And so the godly bad boy, you might say, who is the attractive man with a full sack and who God sees as good, the soul of existence sees it as good because, well, he's being responsible for himself. I was thinking about this yesterday while I was cooking myself dinner. There are a few things in the world that I love more than cooking dinner and listening to Pink Floyd or the Beatles or Zeppelin. Like, there are a few things I really love more than that. And there are a few things that I really enjoy more than painting. Painting and just being one with the creation as I'm creating it. There's few things, I wouldn't say nothing, but there's few things that I would love more than those things. And yet at the same time, I know that it's not me who loves them. It's just, that's the way that my vessel of godliness is expressing the godlike mastery through me. It's not really me who's doing it. But the whole point of this video, really, the freaking noise campaigns, man. Like, and I know there will be people on here that'll be like, "Whoa, I'm in construction and you know, I'm just doing my job." It's like, well, yeah, maybe you are, but also recognize that you're not seeing the depth here, okay? Because everything is here for a reason, and the matrix is real, okay? The matrix is real, but it's not true. I operate from a place of truth. At least I try to be operating from that place. As far as I know, in the spirit of this time, I am operating from the truth as I see it. And that's really all that we can do, right? The only thing that we can truly do is operate from the truth in timelessness as we see it. Because, well, what else are you going to do? I mean, and what else is there to do? Is there really anything else to do except to help wake people up and snap out of the matrix and the illusion? I mean, this is just the greatness of life is available at all times, even in the midst of chaos. Abundance is going to be there whether you believe it or not, because there are two polarities of divinity, right? There's, you might say Satan, and you might say God, or I call it the soul of existence, right? You might say Satan and God. Now, those polarities are always going to be there, but what polarity are you focusing on? Are you focused on the polarity that helps you get closer to God? And it's not, I don't even like to phrase it like that. It's more like a pull to godliness. Are you going to focus on the pull to godliness as the attractive man with a full sack? Or are you going to focus on the pull to this humanity, worldly stuff? I would say that marriage is worldly in many senses of the imagination and in many senses of the word, but it doesn't have to be. That's what I really want to make sure that I get across here with clarity, is that marriage, I'm not necessarily a proponent of marriage, but I'm not necessarily against it either. It depends on the people, and it depends on why you're doing it. Why are you doing what you're doing? Are you doing this because you want to have a shared commitment in growing closer to the soul of existence with each other, with your dharma? Or are you doing it because you kind of just feel like it's the next thing, it's like the next step? I mean, maybe it's both, right? But maybe you feel like it's just the next step. In which case, I don't know why you're doing it. I don't know why you would be doing that. So, with all that being said, I hope that this message was useful and insightful for you. I hope everybody stays blessed. Peace be with you. Until next time.